Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You see, success isn't some magical event that happens after one big moment. It's not the result of a single decision or a burst of inspiration. Success is the culmination of countless small, consistent actions that we take each day. It's about building habits, simple, often mundane actions that gradually add up to something extraordinary. Think about it, the person who gets up early to work on their passion every day, even when no one is watching, is building the habit of discipline. The person who works a little bit harder to improve their skills, even when the immediate reward isn't clear, is building the habit of perseverance. The person who makes the effort to be kind and patient with others, even when it's not convenient, is building the habit of emotional intelligence and leadership. These aren't grand, dramatic moments. They're the small, quiet choices we make each day. But over time, those choices begin to shape the direction of our lives. It's not about the one thing you do perfectly, it's about the million small things you do consistently. Success is a habit, not an event. So why do we sometimes struggle with this idea? Because in today's world, we're conditioned to think that success is a fast track, a shortcut to instant gratification. Social media, reality TV, and ads all push this narrative that success happens quickly. We see others' highlights, but we don't see the behind-the-scenes work that took years of practice, failure, and persistence. But the truth is, success takes time. It takes commitment. It requires doing the right thing over and over, even when you don't see the payoff right away. That's the hard part. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not necessarily the most talented or the luckiest. They're the ones who decided to show up every day, even when the road seemed long and the results weren't immediately visible. Think of a sculptor who chisels away at a block of stone. At first, it looks like nothing's happening. The sculpture is hidden beneath layers of rock. But little by little, with each stroke, the image begins to emerge. Every day, the sculptor makes small, intentional cuts. Some of them might seem insignificant, but eventually they reveal something beautiful and powerful, a masterpiece that was shaped by consistent effort. And the same is true for you. Every time you show up to do the work, whether that's in your career, your relationships, or your personal growth, you are chiseling away at the life you want to create. Success doesn't just appear. It's built over time through the habits you form, the decisions you make, and the small steps you take day in and day out. So don't be discouraged if you don't see immediate results. Don't give up if you don't see the breakthrough after a few weeks or months. Success isn't an event. It's the result of showing up every day and putting in the work, however small it may seem. You can have all the dreams in the world, but without the right habits, those dreams will remain just that, dreams. To turn them into reality, you need to create the daily routines and behaviors that will support them. Success is not a matter of luck. It's about building the right habits and sticking to them, even when it feels hard, even when it feels slow. That's how success is made. So often we set ourselves up for failure because we think we need to make massive changes all at once. We have a big vision for our future and we want to get there right now. We believe that to make a difference, we have to overhaul our entire lives, quit our jobs, move cities, wake up at 4 a.m., exercise for 2 hours a day, cut out sugar completely, meditate for an hour. It's an overwhelming list of things we think we should do to make a significant change. But here's the truth: change doesn't have to be overwhelming. You don't have to do everything at once, and you don't have to be perfect from the start. The key to success lies in starting small, but just starting. You see, the problem with trying to change everything at once is that it's unsustainable. We burn out. We get discouraged. We make ourselves feel like we failed before we even give ourselves a chance to succeed. And then we throw our hands up in frustration, telling ourselves, I just can't do it. Maybe next time. But here's what I want you to understand: small habits are more powerful than you think. When you start small, you set yourself up for success because it's not about perfection, it's about progress. And the most powerful thing about small habits is that they compound over time. Think of it like building a house. If you try to build a house in a single day, it will be chaotic, unstable, and rushed. But if you lay one brick at a time, day by day, eventually you'll have something solid. Something that stands the test of time. It's the same with habits. Every small action you take is a brick you're laying for your future. For example, let's say you want to get fit. Instead of saying, I'm going to work out every single day for an hour, start with something small, like just 10 minutes a day. That's manageable. It's not overwhelming. And after a few days, those 10 minutes might turn into 20. After a few weeks, it might turn into 30. And before you know it, you've built the habit of exercising regularly, and the results are starting to show. The consistency, not the intensity, is what matters most. The same principle applies to things like reading, writing, or building a business. Maybe you want to read more books, but you haven't picked up a book in years. Don't tell yourself that you're going to read a book every week. Instead, set a goal of reading just 5 pages a day. That's it. Small but powerful. If you stick with it, you'll be amazed at how quickly those pages add up. 5 pages a day might not sound like much, but it's the foundation for reading dozens of books a year. And let's not forget the key is to start now. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because that moment will never come. Don't wait until you have more time, or until you feel more motivated, or until the stars align. Because those things are often just excuses. The perfect moment is today. The perfect time to start is now. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Don't let another day slip by. If you want to change, if you want to grow, start right where you are with what you have. You have today. You have this moment. Don't wait until you feel ready to take the first step, however small it might seem. Start small, but start now. Because the journey to success begins with the very first step, no matter how small or insignificant it might feel. Small actions lead to big results. We sometimes think that success is all about big leaps and giant steps, but in reality, it's the small, everyday actions that make the difference. So don't wait for the perfect conditions. Don't wait for the right time or for a change in circumstances. Start with one small step today. When you do that, you're already moving towards something bigger. And remember, when you take that first step, you're setting the stage for your future success. You're building a habit that will become easier and easier over time. Eventually, that small step will lead you to places you never thought possible. One of the biggest challenges we face when trying to build new habits is the temptation to skip them. We tell ourselves that we're too busy, that it's not a big deal if we miss one day, or that we'll get to it later. But here's the truth: habits that aren't treated as non-negotiable will always take a backseat to other things. And when you treat something as optional, it becomes easy to push it aside until it eventually fades into the background. Imagine for a moment that you wake up tomorrow morning and you decide you're not going to eat or sleep today. You might think, I'm too busy to eat breakfast, or I don't feel like going to bed tonight. Sounds absurd, right? Because eating and sleeping are essential to your survival and well-being. They're not up for debate. You know that you need them to function, to feel good, to be productive, to be healthy. That's exactly how your goals and habits should be treated. If you want to build lasting success in your life, your habits, whether they're related to health, career, personal development, or relationships, should be as non-negotiable as eating and sleeping. This means committing to them fully and making them a priority, no matter what. It's about treating your goals as essential tasks rather than things you can get to whenever you feel like it. When you treat your habits as non-negotiable, something incredible happens. You build an unshakable sense of discipline. Discipline is what turns an activity into a habit. It's what helps you show up every day, even when you're tired or busy or feeling unmotivated. It's what separates those who achieve their goals from those who don't. You don't need to wait for motivation to strike. You don't need to feel inspired every day. The beauty of non-negotiable habits is that they are built into your routine, and they happen regardless of how you feel in the moment. You don't ask yourself, do I feel like working out today, or do I want to write today? You've made the decision in advance that this is part of your life. The power of commitment. When you commit to making your habits non-negotiable, you make a promise to yourself that you will do what it takes to succeed, no matter the challenges or distractions that come your way. Commitment doesn't mean it's always easy, or that you'll never face setbacks. It means you are resolute, firm in your decision to stay on course, and determined to follow through. Think of commitment as the glue that holds everything together. Without it, even the best intentions can fall apart. Without commitment, we can easily make excuses, get sidetracked, or abandon our goals altogether. But when you commit to something, you show up. Even on the days when it feels tough. Even when life gets in the way, you show up because your success depends on it. Let me give you an example. Think about someone who decides to run a marathon. Training for a marathon is no joke. There are early mornings, long runs, sore muscles, and days when it feels like quitting would be so much easier. But the person who completes that marathon didn't just wake up one day and magically run 26 miles. They committed to a training plan. They woke up every morning and laced up their shoes. Even when it was hard, even when it wasn't convenient, they stayed committed. And because of that commitment, they crossed the finish line. Your habits work in the same way. If you want to write a book, you don't wait for the perfect day to sit down and write 10 pages. You make writing a non-negotiable part of your day, whether it's for 10 minutes or an hour. If you want to get fit, you don't wait until you feel motivated. You make exercise a non-negotiable part of your routine, whether that means a 10-minute workout or an hour at the gym. You show up no matter what. Eliminate the choice. One of the most powerful aspects of making habits non-negotiable is that you eliminate the constant decision-making process. Every time you have to decide whether or not you're going to follow through on a habit, you are using mental energy. Over time, this can lead to decision fatigue, which can derail your progress. But when you make a habit non-negotiable, you no longer have to make a decision, it's just what you do. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't ask yourself, should I brush my teeth today? It's automatic, part of your daily routine. Your goal is to make your habits just as automatic. The more you integrate them into your life in a non-negotiable way, the less you'll have to think about them. They become ingrained in your routine, and eventually they become effortless. Building momentum. When you treat your habits as non-negotiable, you also begin to build momentum. Momentum is a powerful force that keeps you moving forward. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first it's small, but as it continues to roll, it picks up speed and strength. The more you stick to your non-negotiable habits, the more momentum you create, and the easier it becomes to keep going. This momentum will help you get through the days when motivation feels low. It will carry you through the times when obstacles seem insurmountable. Because at the core, you've made a commitment to yourself, and that commitment is stronger than any temporary challenge. Conclusion: treat your habits like your life depends on them. When you treat your habits as non-negotiable, you are showing yourself the ultimate respect. You are saying, I am worth the commitment, and that commitment pays off not just in achieving your goals, but in building a life of integrity, discipline, and fulfillment. So ask yourself, what goals are you ready to treat as non-negotiable? What actions do you need to make an essential part of your daily routine? Decide right now that your success is too important to leave up to chance. Commit to your habits with the same certainty that you commit to eating and sleeping. And watch as those small, consistent actions start to build the life you've always dreamed of. One of the hardest things we face when trying to build new habits is impatience. We live in a world that thrives on instant gratification. We have fast food, quick results from technology, and endless streams of entertainment at our fingertips. The message we receive daily is that if we want something, we can get it now. And when it comes to our personal goals, we often expect the same fast results. But here's the reality: true change takes time. Habits aren't built overnight. Whether you're trying to develop a new fitness routine, learn a new skill, or adopt a healthier lifestyle, it's a process. And it's one that requires time, effort, and patience. You see, the most powerful habits are the ones that become deeply ingrained in your life, those that stick, that feel automatic. But the thing about ingraining a habit is that it doesn't happen immediately. You don't just decide one day to run every morning and suddenly you're a marathon runner. You don't decide to read more and suddenly you're finishing a book a week. No, real progress happens in the small moments, the moments when you get back on track after missing a day. When you choose to show up again, even when the results aren't visible. When you do the work day after day without immediate reward. That's where the magic is. Consistency over time leads to results. But consistency requires patience. The power of small, consistent actions. Think about any skill you've mastered in your life, whether it was learning to ride a bike, playing a musical instrument, or mastering a craft. You didn't wake up one day and just know how to do it perfectly. There was practice, there were mistakes, and there were setbacks. But over time, you became better because you didn't give up. You kept going day after day after day, and the results gradually appeared. It's exactly the same with habits. It might feel like nothing is happening in the early stages. It might feel like you're putting in all this work and not seeing any real payoff. But every single effort counts. Every time you show up, you're laying the foundation for something bigger. Think about building a wall brick by brick. At first, the wall might seem small and insignificant. You might even think, why bother? I'm just one person, and this wall is so huge. But if you keep laying one brick after another, day after day, eventually you'll have a wall that's strong, sturdy, and stands the test of time. The key isn't in rushing through the process, it's in continuing with patience. Knowing that the foundation you're building today will support your success tomorrow. Trust the process. I know it's tempting to want fast results. We want to feel the progress immediately. But the truth is, the best things in life aren't instant. They're built step by step over time. Whether you're building a new habit, working on a personal goal, or striving to reach your full potential, trust that the process is just as important as the end result. The key is trusting the process. Trust that the small actions you're taking every day are moving you closer to your goal. Even if you can't see it yet, trust that the effort you're putting in now, even when it feels like you're not making visible progress, is creating a foundation for future growth. When you don't see immediate results, it's easy to get discouraged. But remember, patience is not about sitting idly and waiting for things to happen. It's about trusting the work you're doing and staying committed to the process, even when the fruits of your labor aren't visible yet. Allow yourself to be a beginner. Another aspect of patience is giving yourself the grace to be a beginner. When you start something new, whether it's a fitness routine, a new job, or learning to meditate, you will not be perfect right away, and that's okay. In fact, it's expected. Every expert was once a beginner. Every person who has succeeded at something had to start from somewhere. And they didn't get there by being perfect. They got there by being persistent and patient with themselves as they made progress. Give yourself permission to be imperfect, to stumble, to learn, and to grow over time. The more you embrace the fact that you don't have to have it all figured out immediately, the more patient and kind you'll be with yourself, which will allow you to keep moving forward without the self-imposed pressure of perfection. Celebrate the small wins. Here's another powerful strategy to help with patience: celebrate the small wins. Sometimes we get so focused on the big goal that we forget to celebrate the progress we've already made. So when you're building a new habit, take a moment to acknowledge your success, whether it's sticking to your workout routine for a week straight or writing a page of your book every day for a month. These small victories not only help reinforce the habit, but also remind you that progress is happening even if it's slower than you want. Celebrating your small wins keeps you motivated, helps you stay patient, and reminds you that change is happening, even if it's in ways you can't immediately see. Conclusion: trust yourself and the process. Finally, understand that patience is a form of trust. Trust in yourself and trust in the process. Trust that the time you're putting in now will pay off. Trust that consistency will lead to progress. And trust that with each small step, you're creating a future that is aligned with your vision and your dreams. Remember, habits take time. They take time to form, they take time to strengthen, and they take time to truly pay off. But every moment spent building those habits is a moment that will bring you closer to the person you're becoming. So be kind to yourself. Be patient. Keep showing up. And trust that the progress you're looking for is unfolding, even if it's not always obvious in the moment. One of the most powerful ways to stay motivated as you work toward your goals is to track your progress. When you're building new habits, it's easy to get discouraged, especially when you don't see immediate results. Sometimes the changes feel so small that you question whether they're even making a difference. But this is where tracking your progress becomes a game changer. Tracking progress isn't just about seeing how far you've come, it's about recognizing how far you've already traveled. It's about understanding that the small steps you're taking each day, the tiny improvements you make, are accumulating into something bigger. Without tracking your progress, you might lose sight of this gradual but powerful transformation. You see, change doesn't always happen in leaps and bounds. Real change happens through consistent daily actions. But the key is to recognize those actions and celebrate the small wins along the way. Each small victory, no matter how insignificant it seems, is an important step on your journey. And when you celebrate those small wins, you build confidence, reinforce your commitment, and create momentum that propels you forward. The power of tracking. When you track your progress, you gain clarity. You see how much you've accomplished. And that recognition gives you a sense of satisfaction and motivation to keep going. It's easy to forget how much you've grown when you're so focused on the bigger goal. But when you track your progress, you create a clear record of the steps you've taken. For example, if you're trying to build a fitness routine, you might think that doing a 10-minute workout each day isn't enough to see real change. But when you look at your calendar and see that you've worked out 20 days in a row, you begin to realize how much consistency matters. You'll notice the positive changes in your energy levels, in your mood, and your confidence, and that's the momentum you need to keep going. Similarly, if you're writing a book, you might feel that writing just a few pages each day isn't adding up to much. But if you look back after a month of consistent writing, you might find that you've written dozens of pages, hundreds of words, and are much closer to finishing than you thought. By tracking your daily output, you create a tangible reminder that progress is happening, even if it feels slow at times. Celebrate small wins. Tracking isn't just about logging data or marking off days on a calendar, it's about celebrating the small wins. Acknowledge your efforts, no matter how small they seem. Every step forward is a step toward your bigger goal. Maybe you didn't run a full 5K today, but you ran your first mile, and that's a win. Maybe you didn't finish that chapter of your book, but you wrote 500 words today, and that's progress. Celebrating small wins doesn't mean waiting for the big, dramatic achievements to feel proud of yourself. It means recognizing and honoring the journey you're on, one step at a time. This celebration, this moment of recognition, is what keeps you motivated and reminds you that your efforts are not in vain. Don't wait until you've hit the end goal to celebrate. Celebrate your consistency, your persistence, and your commitment to showing up, even on the days when it feels hard. Each small win is a sign that you're moving in the right direction. And each celebration reinforces the habit you're trying to build. Tracking builds momentum. Here's the truth: momentum is one of the most powerful forces you can create for yourself. Momentum is what helps you keep moving forward, even when the road gets tough. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. Once it gains speed, it becomes unstoppable. And when you track your progress, you create the momentum that pushes you towards success. Every time you check something off your list, see the streak of consistent effort on your calendar, or reflect on how far you've come, you reinforce the belief that you're capable. That belief builds momentum, and momentum keeps you moving even when motivation is low. Tracking your progress also helps you see the connections between your actions and results. The more you see the impact of your effort, the more confidence you build. When you track your progress, you realize that small actions lead to big results, and that is incredibly motivating. Visualizing success. One of the most effective ways to track your progress is to visualize it. This could mean using a habit tracker, a journal, or even a simple chart that shows your daily progress. Maybe you draw a line for each day you stick to your habit, or fill in a square on a calendar. Maybe you write down one thing you're grateful for, or one lesson learned each day. The act of physically seeing your progress can make it feel real. It can turn the abstract idea of your goal into something tangible. And the more you see your progress in front of you, the more motivated you become to continue. The visualization of your success reinforces the habit and reminds you that you're on the right track. Learning from setbacks. Tracking your progress isn't just about celebrating your wins, it's also about learning from your setbacks. If you miss a day or slip up on your goal, don't be discouraged. Instead, use it as an opportunity to learn. Why did you miss a day? What was the obstacle? Is there something you can change in your approach to make it easier to stay on track next time? By tracking your progress, you can spot patterns in your behavior and identify what's working and what's not. This allows you to adjust your strategy and keep moving forward rather than giving up or feeling discouraged. Remember, setbacks are part of the journey. They don't define your progress, but how you respond to them does. Conclusion: keep moving, keep tracking. Tracking your progress is a reminder that you're not starting from scratch every day. You're building on the foundation you've already created. And every small effort is part of something bigger, something that will lead you to the success you desire. So start today. Find a way to track your progress. Whether it's through a habit tracker, a journal, or a simple checklist, track the small wins and celebrate each victory along the way. The more you track, the more you'll see your growth and the more motivated you'll be to continue. Momentum will build, confidence will grow, and soon those small steps will lead you to incredible results. One of the most powerful lessons in building habits and achieving long-term success is this: perfection is not the goal. We live in a world that often celebrates perfection, where social media showcases the best versions of ourselves, where success stories seem effortless, and where we're led to believe that doing it perfectly is the only way to succeed. But here's the truth: perfection is an illusion. It's an unrealistic standard that will not only drain your energy, but also prevent you from making real progress. Consistency is the key to success, not perfection. Think about it, no one gets it perfect every time. We all have days when we feel like we've taken a step backward. We all face moments when we make mistakes, fall off track, or encounter obstacles that make it hard to keep going. And that's okay. Success isn't about doing things flawlessly. It's about showing up day after day and being persistent, even when things don't go as planned. The myth of perfection. One of the traps we fall into is thinking that if we can't do something perfectly, then we shouldn't do it at all. We tell ourselves, I don't have enough time to do it right, or I'll just wait until I can give it my best effort. But this mentality only leads to procrastination. The idea that we need to be perfect often holds us back from taking action at all. Perfectionism can also lead to self-criticism. We might be quick to judge ourselves when things don't go as expected, or we may abandon our goals altogether because we think we're not doing them the right way. But here's the reality: trying to be perfect can be a form of avoidance. It's a way to keep ourselves stuck, waiting for ideal conditions or perfect timing that will never come. It's a form of self-sabotage that prevents progress from happening. The truth is, there is no perfect way to do anything. Success isn't about getting it right every time. It's about learning, adjusting, and continuing, no matter how imperfect the journey may seem. Embrace imperfection and learn from it. The magic of consistency is that it allows you to grow and evolve. If you wait for perfection, you will never experience the learning process. But when you show up consistently, even when things don't go according to plan, you give yourself the opportunity to learn, adapt, and improve. Every time you try and don't get it right, you're gaining valuable experience. Failure is simply feedback. It's the information you need to keep refining your approach and move forward. By staying consistent, you are gradually shaping yourself into someone who doesn't fear failure, but sees it as a necessary step toward growth. When you stop focusing on perfection, you free yourself from the paralyzing fear of failure, and instead you start focusing on progress. Progress, not perfection, is the true measure of success. The power of small, consistent efforts. The key to success lies in the small, consistent actions that you take every day. Success doesn't come from one giant leap, it comes from countless tiny steps, each one building upon the last. It's easy to think that you need to make dramatic changes, but real, sustainable success comes from the habits you build over time. Consistency compounds. Even when those steps don't feel perfect, they're still moving you forward, and they are still shaping your success. Take the example of learning a new language. If you sit down once a month and try to cram a year's worth of vocabulary and grammar, you won't get very far. But if you commit to learning just 5 new words every day, even on days when you don't feel like it, over time you'll have built a solid foundation. The consistency of small actions compounded over time will get you further than perfection ever could. Similarly, if you want to build a fitness routine, you don't need to work out for hours every single day, perfectly hitting every muscle group. Instead, you need to be consistent. You need to make the decision to show up, even on the days when you're not feeling your best. Some days you may do a quick 10-minute workout, other days you may push yourself harder. But as long as you stay consistent, those small efforts will add up over time to create significant change. The power of showing up imperfectly. Sometimes the most important thing you can do is to simply show up, even if you're not feeling perfect. The act of showing up consistently, even when you feel like you're not doing your best, is what separates those who reach their goals from those who don't. Think about a writer who aims to write a novel. If they waited for every sentence to be perfect, they would never get past the first page. But when they focus on writing consistently, even if it's not perfect, they are slowly creating something real. They don't have to write the best book ever, they just have to write a little bit every day. And over time, that consistent effort will build a story. In the same way, if you commit to your habit every day, whether you're having a good day or a bad day, you will look back and realize that your consistent actions, no matter how imperfect, have created something amazing. Forgive yourself for imperfections. One of the most important aspects of consistency is the ability to forgive yourself when things don't go as planned. Perfectionism often leads to harsh self-criticism, but self-compassion is a far more powerful tool. If you slip up, make a mistake, or miss a day, instead of beating yourself up, simply acknowledge it and move forward. Remember, it's the overall pattern of consistent effort that matters, not one misstep along the way. If you miss a workout, don't quit your routine altogether. If you don't write today, don't give up on your book. Forgiving yourself for these moments of imperfection allows you to stay the course, learn from your mistakes, and continue to move forward without the burden of guilt. Conclusion: the journey is the goal. In the end, the process is the goal. It's about showing up each day and committing to the journey, even if it's messy, imperfect, and full of setbacks. Because it's in the process of showing up consistently, not in being perfect, that you will find success. The habits you build, the lessons you learn, and the growth you experience will all come from your ability to stay consistent, to embrace imperfection, and to trust that progress will come one imperfect step at a time. So don't wait for the perfect moment to start. Start imperfectly, but start consistently. And as you continue showing up day after day, you'll realize that the progress you make is far more valuable than perfection ever could be. When we think about success, it's easy to get caught up in the end result, the finish line. We dream of achieving our goals, whether it's landing the perfect job, reaching a financial milestone, or finally completing a long-term project. It's natural to feel excited about the end goal and to set our sights on that moment of success. But here's the truth: success is not just about the destination, it's about the journey. The journey, the day-to-day actions, the moments of struggle, the lessons learned along the way is where true growth happens. It's easy to fixate on the big picture and only think about the goal itself. But what happens when you finally reach that goal? Will you feel fulfilled? Will you feel a sense of purpose? Or will you be left looking for the next goal to chase? The reality is, if you only focus on the outcome, you may miss out on the transformative power of the process. The process, the journey, the day-to-day grind is what shapes you. It's what builds your character, your resilience, and your skills. It's where personal transformation occurs. And it's often in the small, everyday moments that the seeds of success are sown. Embrace the process. So what does it mean to embrace the process? It means learning to love the journey, not just the goal. It means committing to your vision, but also understanding that the way you achieve it, the daily steps, the effort you put in, the challenges you face along the way, is just as important, if not more so, than the destination itself. Imagine you're working toward a fitness goal. The goal might be to lose a certain amount of weight or to complete a marathon. But if you only focus on that final outcome, what happens when you hit a plateau? Or when you're too tired to work out one day? What happens if you don't see immediate progress? If you only see the goal, you might give up or feel disheartened. But if you embrace the process, you'll focus on how good you feel after a workout, how strong you're becoming, and the mental clarity that physical movement brings. You'll appreciate the small wins along the way, the progress you make day by day, not just the final outcome. Similarly, if you're building a business or working on a creative project, it's easy to get fixated on success as something that's waiting for you at the end. But if you can find joy in the work itself, in the act of creating, learning, and growing, you'll be far more fulfilled during the journey and more likely to achieve sustainable success. The daily actions, those moments of showing up even when things are tough, are what shape your future. Learn to enjoy the small steps. One of the reasons we often overlook the process is that we're looking for instant gratification. We want to see results quickly, and we want them to be big and obvious. But the most sustainable successes are built on small, incremental actions. Whether it's reading a few pages every day or writing a paragraph a day toward your book, those small actions will eventually add up. If you can learn to enjoy those small steps, you'll start to see them not as obstacles, but as opportunities. Each small task becomes a part of your daily ritual, a building block that contributes to your bigger goal. When you focus on the process, you realize that the journey is full of rewards in and of itself, not just at the end. Think about learning a new skill, such as playing an instrument or mastering a new language. The early stages might feel frustrating, and the progress might seem slow. But if you can learn to celebrate the small wins the first time you play a song all the way through, or when you can have a short conversation in your new language, you will start to see the beauty in the process. You'll start to appreciate the little victories along the way, and those victories will fuel your motivation to keep going. Develop a growth mindset. Another key to focusing on the journey is cultivating a growth mindset, the belief that you can grow and improve through effort, learning, and perseverance. People with a growth mindset see challenges and setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow. They don't just focus on the end result, but embrace the process of becoming better each day. If you believe that you can improve and learn through your efforts, then the journey itself becomes an exciting opportunity for personal development. Each step, no matter how small, is a chance to learn something new about yourself, about your capabilities, and about the world around you. The journey isn't just a means to an end, it becomes the context in which you evolve and transform. This mindset shift is essential if you want to build lasting success. If you view every obstacle as a chance to improve, then setbacks don't feel like failures, they feel like opportunities. When you see the process as a learning experience, you're more likely to stay engaged and committed. Let go of the end goal obsession. While it's important to have clear goals and a vision for your future, obsessing over the end goal can be counterproductive. It can make you feel like you're always chasing something, never quite satisfied with what you have. If you tie your happiness and sense of accomplishment only to that one final goal, you might find yourself feeling empty or unfulfilled when you reach it, because you've been so focused on getting there that you've missed the joy and value in the journey itself. The best approach is to keep the end goal in sight, but to focus your energy on the steps you need to take to get there. Instead of seeing the journey as a means to an end, see it as part of the destination. The work you're doing today, the struggles you're overcoming, and the lessons you're learning are all part of your success story. By focusing on the journey, you create a sense of fulfillment in the present moment rather than deferring your happiness until the future. Success becomes not just the result of your efforts, but a byproduct of the joy you find in the process. Savor the growth and the struggles. There will be times on the journey when things feel difficult, when you want to quit, when it feels like you're stuck or not progressing. This is the natural part of the process. Instead of avoiding or resenting these difficult moments, try to embrace them. Real growth often happens when we face obstacles. It's the times we struggle, adapt, and push through that teach us the most about ourselves. Every struggle, every setback is an opportunity to learn and develop resilience. When you embrace the tough moments as part of the journey, you start to see them not as roadblocks, but as integral parts of your growth. The challenges are as important as the triumphs because they help shape you into a stronger, wiser, more capable person. Conclusion: the journey is the real reward. In the end, focusing on the journey means recognizing that the process is just as valuable as the outcome. Your success doesn't begin when you reach your goal. It begins the moment you decide to commit to the process. It begins with each step you take, no matter how small. When you can find joy in the day-to-day effort, when you can learn to embrace the challenges and savor the growth, then the journey itself becomes the real reward. So focus on showing up every day, on doing the work, on trusting the process. Let go of the need for perfection and allow yourself to enjoy the ride. Because in the end, success is not just about what you achieve, it's about who you become along the way. Let's face it, setbacks are inevitable. No journey is without its bumps. Whether it's a missed deadline, a failed project, a personal mistake, or an unexpected obstacle, setbacks are a natural part of the process of growth and achievement. But what separates those who succeed from those who don't is how we respond to setbacks. It's not about avoiding failure, it's about how we learn from it, adapt, and use it as fuel to keep going. Setbacks are not signs of defeat, they're simply part of the path to success. When we stumble, when things don't go according to plan, our instinct may be to get discouraged, to give up, or to beat ourselves up. We may even question our abilities or wonder if we're on the right path. But here's a truth that can change everything. Setbacks are a necessary part of success. In fact, they are some of our greatest teachers. Changing your perspective on failure. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, we can choose to see them as opportunities for growth. Every setback is an opportunity to gain valuable insights about ourselves, our work, and our approach. It's in these moments of struggle that we build resilience, the ability to bounce back, to keep moving forward, even when things get tough. When we change our mindset and stop seeing setbacks as signs of inadequacy, we unlock a powerful tool for progress. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" When we embrace this perspective, setbacks stop feeling like roadblocks and begin to feel like stepping stones. For example, let's say you're working on a project and it doesn't go as planned. Maybe you didn't hit your target deadline, or maybe the results weren't what you hoped. In that moment, instead of getting discouraged, ask yourself, what did I learn from this experience? What can I do differently next time? How can I improve or adjust my approach? This shift in thinking turns setbacks from failures into valuable lessons. It reminds us that the process of learning and growing is not linear. It's filled with challenges, detours, and unexpected turns. But each setback is a step closer to mastery, as long as we embrace it as part of the journey. Setbacks build resilience. One of the most important qualities of successful people is their resilience, their ability to keep going even when things don't go as planned. And resilience is something you build through setbacks. Think of resilience like a muscle. The more you experience challenges and bounce back from them, the stronger that muscle becomes. Each time you get knocked down and get back up, you build the mental strength to handle future obstacles with greater ease. You learn how to stay calm in the face of adversity, how to adjust your course, and how to maintain your focus. This is what separates those who achieve long-term success from those who give up when things get tough. It's not that successful people never experience setbacks, it's that they persevere. They use setbacks as opportunities to grow, learn, and move forward stronger. The value of reflection and adaptation. When setbacks happen, they provide us with an opportunity to reflect and adapt. It's not about focusing on the negative aspect of the setback or dwelling on the disappointment. It's about using it as a learning tool. Take a moment to reflect on what happened. What went wrong? What was outside of your control? What could you have done differently? What can you do next time to improve? This process of reflection allows you to extract lessons from each experience and adapt your approach moving forward. By being reflective and adaptable, you begin to improve with each setback instead of being held back by it. For example, let's say you're building a new business and a marketing strategy doesn't yield the expected results. Instead of giving up on the idea or losing confidence, reflect on what you can learn. Maybe your target audience wasn't properly defined, or maybe the messaging wasn't clear enough. Once you understand where things went wrong, you can pivot and try again, using what you've learned to adjust your strategy. This adaptability is one of the most powerful skills you can cultivate when it comes to long-term success. Setbacks offer perspective. Setbacks are also an opportunity to reassess your goals and your priorities. Sometimes we get so focused on our goals that we forget to step back and see the bigger picture. A setback can act as a reset button, a chance to take a deep breath, reassess, and realign with your true purpose. If things aren't going as planned, maybe it's a sign that you need to reframe your approach. Maybe you need to set new, more realistic goals. Maybe you need to take a break and re-energize. Whatever it is, setbacks can give us the perspective we need to understand that the journey towards success is not just about the end result, but also about the process of evolution and growth. Don't let setbacks define you. It's easy to get caught up in a setback and let it define us. We might feel like we failed, like we're behind, or like we've made a mistake that we can't come back from. But setbacks don't define us. They simply give us an opportunity to define ourselves by how we respond to them. Rather than letting a setback become your story, make it a chapter. You get to decide how setbacks impact your journey. When you acknowledge a setback but choose not to be defeated by it, you reclaim your power. You refuse to let one moment of adversity define your entire path. Instead, you turn it into a learning experience that propels you forward. Remember, the most successful people are not those who avoid setbacks, they're the ones who keep going despite them. Every setback is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you have the strength and resilience to move forward. The key is not to stay down, but to get back up, learn from your mistakes, and keep pushing toward your goals. Conclusion: setbacks are part of the journey. Setbacks, when embraced with the right mindset, become a vital part of your success story. They are not signs of failure, but stepping stones on your path to greatness. By embracing setbacks as learning opportunities, you develop resilience, gain valuable insights, and come back stronger. It's not the setbacks themselves that matter, but how you respond to them. So the next time you face a setback, don't let it hold you back. Use it as an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow. Remember, success isn't about avoiding mistakes, it's about using each setback as a chance to improve and keep moving forward. Success in its truest form is not a solo journey. No one achieves their goals alone. Whether you're striving for personal development, pursuing a professional dream, or working on a creative project, the road to success is often much smoother and more fulfilling when you have a supportive community behind you. Surrounding yourself with the right people is one of the most powerful tools you can leverage to stay on track. Stay motivated and stay true to your vision. When we talk about surrounding yourself with support, it's not just about having people around who cheer you on or tell you what you want to hear. It's about building a community of individuals who push you to be your best, who challenge you to grow, who hold you accountable, and who inspire you to keep going, especially when the going gets tough. The power of accountability. One of the most powerful elements of having a supportive community is the sense of accountability. When you have a group of people who are invested in your success, people who believe in you and hold you to your commitments, you're far more likely to take consistent action and stay on course. Think about it: if no one knows about your goals or plans, it's easy to let things slide. But when you have someone checking in on your progress, you're more motivated to stay consistent. Whether it's a mentor, a coach, or a group of friends or colleagues, having someone to hold you accountable forces you to show up. It helps you push through moments of doubt, procrastination, or fatigue because you know that someone is rooting for you and holding you to your word. An accountability partner is someone who not only checks your progress, but also helps you refocus when you lose sight of your goals. They remind you why you started, offer constructive feedback, and celebrate your wins with you. They're not there to judge you, they're there to support and encourage your growth, helping you stay on track when the road gets bumpy. Build relationships with people who challenge you. The right support system isn't just about people who tell you what you want to hear or who agree with everything you do. Growth happens when you're surrounded by people who challenge you, who push you out of your comfort zone and help you see things from a new perspective. These individuals won't just tell you how great you are, they'll also point out where you can improve, where you can stretch further, and where you can develop new skills. Having people who challenge you is essential, because true growth rarely happens in the comfort zone. When you're surrounded by individuals who challenge your thinking, who ask the hard questions, and who offer a different perspective, you expand your mind and your abilities. These people inspire you to think bigger, act bolder, and take risks. They help you grow in ways you might never have imagined on your own. Consider the role of a mentor. A mentor is someone who has walked the path before you, someone who has knowledge, experience, and wisdom to share. They offer guidance, but also challenge you to do more, to be better, to dig deeper. Their belief in you pushes you forward, and their willingness to challenge you helps you break through your limitations. Surround yourself with positivity and encouragement. While it's important to have people who challenge you, it's equally important to have people who encourage you and lift you up, especially during difficult times. A positive support system gives you the emotional strength to keep going when you're feeling discouraged, exhausted, or ready to quit. These people remind you that setbacks are temporary, that failure doesn't define you, and that you're capable of achieving great things, even when it feels hard. Positivity doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending that everything is perfect. It means having people around who help you maintain hope, who remind you of your purpose, and who help you see possibilities even when the road ahead looks uncertain. A positive, supportive community can help you reframe difficulties as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. When you're surrounded by people who encourage your growth and remind you of your worth, you're less likely to fall victim to self-doubt and negative self-talk. Instead, you'll feel energized, motivated, and inspired to keep moving forward. Their belief in you reinforces your own belief in yourself. The importance of emotional support. Pursuing big goals is hard. There will be moments when you feel overwhelmed, frustrated, or exhausted. During those times, emotional support is vital. It's not just about people offering advice or helping you troubleshoot. It's about having a safe space to express your emotions and find comfort when things get tough. The best support systems are made up of people who not only celebrate your wins, but also stand by you during your lows. They listen to you without judgment, offer empathy, and remind you that it's okay to feel down sometimes. They offer a shoulder to lean on when you're feeling vulnerable, and they help you process your challenges in a healthy way. This emotional support is essential for maintaining mental and emotional well-being as you work toward your goals. By surrounding yourself with individuals who care about your well-being and who provide emotional support, you create a safety net that enables you to take risks, step out of your comfort zone, and move toward your goals with confidence. Leverage a diverse support network. It's important to remember that support doesn't have to come from just one person or one group. A diverse network of support is invaluable because different people offer different kinds of expertise, experience, and perspectives. Some might offer professional advice while others provide emotional support. Some might challenge you to think bigger while others keep you grounded and focused. For instance, you might have a mentor who provides guidance in your career, a friend who offers emotional encouragement, a colleague who helps you stay motivated on the job, and a family member who reminds you to take care of yourself. Each person plays a unique role in your life, contributing to your growth in different ways. By surrounding yourself with a wide range of supportive individuals, you increase your chances of success because you're tapping into a wealth of resources and wisdom from various aspects of life. Create a circle of influence. One way to intentionally build a supportive network is to create a circle of influence, a group of people who share similar values, aspirations, and goals. This circle can include mentors, peers, colleagues, friends, or anyone who inspires you and motivates you to become the best version of yourself. Your circle of influence should be filled with people who uplift you, who encourage you to grow, and who hold you accountable to your highest potential. Think of your circle as a mirror. The people you spend time with will influence your mindset, your habits, and your actions. When you surround yourself with individuals who inspire greatness, who push you toward your goals, and who share your passion for growth, you begin to reflect those qualities in your own life. A strong, positive circle can amplify your success by offering both practical support and emotional encouragement. Conclusion: success is a team effort. Remember that success is rarely a solo endeavor. While it's true that you must take personal responsibility for your actions and your growth, the support you receive along the way can make all the difference. By surrounding yourself with people who believe in you, challenge you, hold you accountable, and inspire you, you're creating a foundation for success that is far stronger than if you tried to do it alone. Build your support network consciously and be intentional about who you allow into your circle. Choose people who elevate you, who challenge you, and who inspire you to keep going even when the road gets tough. Surround yourself with a community that pushes you to grow, holds you accountable, and reminds you of your potential. Because when you have the right people by your side, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Together, you can move mountains. The truth is, your future is not shaped by the big, dramatic moments that you often imagine will define your life. It's not the giant leaps, the grand gestures, or the monumental events that determine who you'll become or what you'll achieve. It's the small, seemingly insignificant habits that you practice daily that build your future, one tiny action at a time. The small decisions you make today, how you spend your time, how you talk to yourself, the actions you take toward your goals, and the mindset you nurture, these are the things that will either propel you forward or hold you back. Every habit, whether positive or negative, is a small building block that eventually becomes the foundation for the person you are becoming. The power of consistency. Think about it. If you want to be physically healthy, you don't need to run a marathon tomorrow. But you do need to make consistent choices, eating well, exercising regularly, getting enough sleep on a daily basis. Over time, these small actions compound and you begin to see the results. It's the consistency of those daily habits that leads to transformation. This same principle applies to every area of life. Whether you're working on personal development, a career goal, or building relationships, the success you achieve is determined by the little things you do consistently. Your habits are the scaffolding of your success. If you want to write a book, you don't need to write 100 pages in one day. You need to write 1 page every day. If you want to save money, you don't need to make a huge financial windfall tomorrow. You need to start by saving a small amount every day. Small, consistent actions lead to big results over time. Habits build character. Your habits don't just shape your external results, they also shape who you are as a person. Who you become tomorrow is determined by what you do today. Habits build character, and character is what ultimately defines us. If you cultivate habits of discipline, resilience, and focus, you build a strong, reliable character that will serve you throughout your life. If you cultivate habits of procrastination, self-doubt, or negativity, those habits will become part of who you are as well. The key to building good habits is understanding that each choice you make today is a vote for the person you want to become tomorrow. Every time you choose to be disciplined, even in the smallest of tasks, you're shaping your future self. Each time you show up for your goals, even when it's difficult or inconvenient, you're strengthening your character and laying the groundwork for your success. Habits are the compound effect. Think of habits as the compound effect in action. The idea behind the compound effect is that small, consistent actions taken over time accumulate and produce exponential results. It's like investing a small amount of money in the stock market and letting it grow over the years. Small contributions today lead to a massive return in the future. The same thing happens with habits. A small action taken daily might not seem like much in the moment, but when you stack these actions together over weeks, months, and years, the results are staggering. Let's say you spend just 15 minutes a day reading. At first, it doesn't seem like a lot, right? But over the course of a year, that adds up to about 5,475 minutes of reading, nearly 91 hours. And those 91 hours will have a profound impact on your knowledge, skills, and growth. That's the power of consistent small habits. The ripple effect of your habits. Your habits don't just affect you, they have a ripple effect on those around you. When you choose habits that promote health, positivity, and productivity, you become an example for others. Your habits influence your relationships, your work environment, and the energy you bring into any room. For example, if you cultivate habits of kindness, generosity, and empathy, those traits become part of how you interact with others. Your interactions become more positive, and you naturally attract people who resonate with those same values. Your habits ripple out into the world, affecting your environment and the people around you in ways that you may not even fully realize. On the other hand, if you allow negative habits like impatience, negativity, or poor communication to take hold, those habits will affect not just your life, but also the relationships you have with others. Your habits create an energy that others pick up on, and that energy can either uplift or drag down those around you. Breaking bad habits. If habits are the building blocks of our future, then bad habits are the walls that can hold us back. We all have habits that we know aren't serving us, whether it's procrastination, negative self-talk, or unhealthy behaviors. The key is to recognize them for what they are and take conscious action to replace them with healthier, more productive habits. Breaking bad habits requires self-awareness, discipline, and patience. It's not about eliminating the bad habit all at once, but about making a gradual shift toward healthier patterns. The same principle of consistency applies. Instead of trying to change everything overnight, make small, incremental changes to replace the bad habit with a positive one. For example, if you have the habit of checking your phone first thing in the morning, start by replacing that with a more positive habit like journaling, reading, or meditating for just 5 minutes. Over time, that small shift will transform your morning routine and create a ripple effect of positive change throughout your day. The importance of habit stacking. One effective way to build good habits is through the technique of habit stacking, associating a new habit with an existing one. By linking a new habit to something you already do every day, you can ensure that the new behavior sticks. For example, if you already brush your teeth every morning, you could stack a new habit like stretching or practicing deep breathing immediately after. This method capitalizes on the power of routine and consistency, making it easier to integrate new habits into your daily life. By stacking habits, you reduce the effort needed to form them, as they naturally become part of your existing routine. Choose your habits wisely. The future you envision for yourself is not something that will just magically happen. It's something that you are creating right now through the habits you choose. Every action you take today, no matter how small, is a step in the direction of the life you want to live. Your habits shape your health, your mindset, your success, and your happiness. They define the kind of person you are becoming and the kind of life you will lead. So the question is, what kind of future do you want to create? What kind of person do you want to become? The beauty of habits is that they are entirely within your control. You get to choose your habits. Choose wisely. Start today. Commit to the habits that will lead you to your desired future. Whether it's taking care of your physical health, improving your mental well-being, honing a new skill, or simply being more kind and present, every small action matters. Remember, your habits are the blueprint for your future. So choose habits that reflect the person you want to become, because who you are tomorrow is being shaped by what you do today.